Hi there, this is Tata and welcome to the Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Wednesday, March 29th, 2023, which means that tonight I will be reviewing AEW Dynamite. Okay, so before we get into this review, let's talk about the two biggest things that happened on tonight's show. Number one, being Bryan Danielson returned and he turned heel. He fully aligned himself with the BCC. As you guys know, after Revolution, Bryan went home and the BCC has just been running amok. They allegedly attacked the Young Bucks. They've attacked Evil Uno. They're just attacking and beating people up. So this was at the end of Kenny Omega's match with Jeff Cobb. BCC comes out. They surround the ring. Bryan Danielson returned and he was telling the BCC to back off. Bryan offers Kenny Omega his hand, and you could just imagine Kenny Omega's hesitation on shaking Bryan Danielson's hand. So he ends up shaking Bryan's hand, and while Omega has his back turned to Bryan, you can see Bryan preparing to attack Omega. So Bryan ends up attacking Omega, and then the rest of the BCC enter the ring and attack him. And security has to come out and try to stop this, because you guys know the Bucks got taken out. Hangman and Adam Page had got attacked earlier in the night. So Kenny Omega was all by himself. Okay, so honestly, I'm not surprised this happened. I've been wondering what Bryan stood in the whole BCC turning heel thing. And I even thought to myself, BCC's heel, yet Bryan's face. So is he going to split from them? And lo and behold, he aligned himself with the BCC. So I'm very interested to see what a heel Bryan does in AEW. I'm sure it's going to be a really great work. But they're just running amok here. So that was the first big thing. Next, we had the return of Adam Cole, baby! And his first big match back, he fought Daniel Garcia, and this was a good match. Adam Cole looked really good in this match, although there were certain spots where I was worried, especially when he ended up on the outside, and he took that pile driver. So, yeah, I was a little worried there. But of course, Adam Cole, baby, gets the big win in his first match back. And then afterwards, his real-life girlfriend, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, comes out. She celebrates with him. She hugs him. She gives him a kiss. Streamers come out. And they're just in there celebrating. But then Chris Jericho comes out. He comes out, he checks on Daniel Garcia, and Adam Cole's just staring at him, and Britt Baker's there. And Jericho kind of looks over his shoulder. He doesn't make eye contact with Adam Cole, and he walks over with Daniel Garcia. Then he makes it up to the ramp, and he stops. And once again, he kind of looks over his shoulder, but he doesn't look directly at Adam Cole. This tells me that they're setting up a potential feud with Adam Cole and Chris Jericho. And since Britt Baker was there, maybe she'll get involved in this somehow. But very intrigued by that. Well, we'll see where it goes. But with that, let's start this review from the beginning. So the opening contest was Jungleboy Jack Perry versus Matt Hardy, with Ethan Page at ringside. Jungleboy took two side effects. He took a side effect on the outside and then a side effect on the ring apron. Now, backstage, you see Darby Allin watching this match, and you also see Sammy Guevara watching this match. When the ref was distracted, Ethan Page sent Jungleboy to the barricade. Matt Hardy with that superplex to Jungleboy was pretty cool. At some point in the match, Hook comes out. He attacks Ethan Page. Matt Hardy holds Hook so that Ethan Page can hit him, but Ethan Page accidentally hits Matt Hardy instead because Hook moves out of the way. And then Hook sends Ethan Page to the back. So this leaves Matt Hardy alone in the ring with Jungleboy, and Jungleboy is victorious. Then after the match, MJF comes out. MJF says that he knows the people here in St. Louis are not very bright, but that he runs the show. He says he's going to keep it real. He didn't appreciate Jungleboy interrupting his bar mitzvah, and basically caused Jungleboy Kanye West, referring to when Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift's speech at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards. MJF says that this place is the MJF show. And so the crowd starts chanting STFU, shut the fuck up, basically. MJF says that Jungleboy was right, that he barely wrestles, barely breaks a sweat. MJF says that Jungleboy had to scratch and claw his way back up the ladder, leaving blood, sweat, and tears for these people. and he doesn't recall these people ever saying thank you. MJF says that Jungle Boy has every right to be pissed, but has no reason to be pissed at him and at the company. MJF says that after their match, he walked to the back. For the first time in his career, he felt like he met his equal and met a man inside the ring he respected, and swallowed his pride and shook Jungle Boy's hand. And then he asked Jungle Boy if he remembered what MJF told him that night. Jungle Boy says that yeah, he remembered. He said that MJF told him he had all the skills and potential, but the nice guys finished last and to ditch all his friends. MJF called Marco Stunted Growth, and Dino Douche, Christian Cage, who basically he's saying that all these guys held Jungle Boy back, and he tells him the Hook will be no different. MJF goes on to say that this place could have been the Jack Perry show, where has been a good guy gotten Jungle Boy. And MJF says that Jungle Boy is still Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy responds saying that he thought of him and MJF were going to be friends. He wishes he could be like MJF. Wishes he could talk like him. Wishes he could have his confidence. Wish he didn't care about lying and stabbing people in the back. Wish that he didn't care about being the most narcissistic person. Jungle Boy says that if the road to the top of the mountain is harder than MJF's road, then that's on him. But at least he won't have to wake up alone and hating the person he's become. MJF applauds Jungle Boy and says that was good, and it took him 4 years to learn how to talk. MJF agrees. He thought they could be friends, but Jungle Boy is weak. And he says that Anna Jay and said that Jungle Boy is weak between the knees, and then a brawl ensues because Jungle Boy attacks MJF. So I have to say, I really, really like this promo between MJF and Jungle Boy. I think Jungle Boy laid it all out for MJF, and it's just really, really good here. I hope that MJF has a moment like this with both Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara. So this was a great way to kick off AEW Dynamite. So next we get Don Callis' backstage interview, and he's basically saying he wants to clear the air because there's been a lot of drama. He says he grabbed Hangman's wrist, and he felt very foolish. Don Callis asked Kenny Omega why he thought Hangman attacked him. And Kenny Omega says it's because Hangman has attacked him before, which is true. Then we get Blackpool Combat Club versus Dalton Castle and the boys. And this match doesn't even happen because as Dalton Castle and the boys are making their way to the ring, the BCC attacks them and Moxley chokes out Dalton Castle. So maybe they're setting up for a rivalry there, Dalton Castle versus Jon Moxley. We get Hangman Adam Page in a backstage interview where he says the Bucks have been better. Nick has a separated shoulder and Matt has a partially torn bicep. But they're home this week and he assumes they'll heal. And when he's asked who he thinks attacked the Young Bucks, Hangman responds by saying that he accuses the BCC of attacking the Young Bucks. Then Don Callis shows up and Don Callis apologizes to Hangman. And then out of nowhere, the BCC show up and attack not only Hangman, but Don Callis as well. And according to Mike Johnson from PWI Insider, when the Blackpool Combat Club attacked Hangman Page and Don Callis backstage on AEW Dynamite, Callis was legitimately injured, PWIinsider.com is told. We are told Callis struck his head while going down after being punched by Jon Moxley and was legitimately busted open. What the announcer stated about Callis being checked out backstage was 100% legitimate, as he was absolutely dinged up. So Don Callis was legitimately injured in this segment, and he did get busted open. If you look, when they zoomed in on Callis, he had his hand to his face, and you could see blood pouring out. Hopefully it's not a serious injury. So after this, we get the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship match. It's Kenny Omega versus Jeff Cobb. And before the match starts, Tony Schiavone informs Kenny Omega that Don Callis was attacked. And you could tell Kenny Omega's mood just changed after that. During this match, Jeff Cobb mocked Kenny Omega twice. He did the whole pose that Kenny Omega does. He sent Kenny Omega to the barricade. He drop kicked Kenny Omega. But Kenny Omega fired back with the jumping knee to the jaw, a Snapdragon suplex, a chest chop, a knee strike. I think my favorite spot in this match was that delayed vertical suplex from the top ropes that Jeff Cobb did to Kenny Omega. Now, Jeff Cobb did the V-trigger to Kenny Omega, and he attempted to do the one-wing angel, but he wasn't able to. Kenny Omega then hits the V-trigger to the back of the head of Jeff Cobb, and the one-wing angel to Cobb, allowing him to retain. So I thought kind of for a second Kenny Omega was going to lose his title. The reason I thought he was going to lose his title was because, Tony Schiavone told Kenny Omega before the match that Don Callis was injured. So I was kind of like, why are they telling him that? Like, is he going to lose? And I legit thought Kenny Omega was going to lose, but he didn't. He ended up retaining. And so what happens after this match, I talked about at the beginning. Basically, Bryan comes back and aligns themselves with the BCC. We get a Guns promo. And they're basically talking about FTR, how it took FTR 19 years to get to the point of them being a great tag team. And it took the Guns 2 years to get there. They say that FTR used to be their heroes, but then they met them and then they hated FTR. That the only person they ever respected their whole lives was their dad, and look what they did to him. So I think maybe FTR would win. Who knows? Supposedly their contract expires in April, but they might win. The whole contract, they might just be kayfabe. Next, we get the AEW International Championship match. It's Orange Cassidy versus the Butcher. The Blade attacks Cassidy before the match. Butcher also attacks him while the ref dealt with Blade. I wasn't a huge fan of this match. And it's nothing against Orange Cassidy. I'm just not the biggest fan of the Butcher and the Blade. So this match was alright, but I didn't care for this match. Then we get Willow Nightingale versus the Outcast Ruby Soho. If you guys remember, Willow Nightingale and Ruby Soho used to be partners. Willow came to Ruby's defense when Ruby was feuding with Ty J. This wasn't a bad match. I actually really liked this match. I enjoyed it. Now, of course, Toni Storm and Saraya were at ringside. Saraya with the knees to Willow while Ruby distracted the ref. Willow had enough of Saraya, so she sent her to the turnbuckle. Willow hit the Death Valley driver to Ruby. Toni Storm shook the ropes, causing Willow to fall. Saraya distracted the ref while Toni Storm pulled Ruby from Willow. And Ruby actually got a roll-up pin on Willow, and Toni Storm put Ruby's feet on the rope, which meant Ruby Soho was victorious in this match. Of course, typical the Outcast, there was a post-match assault on Willow. Ruby didn't spray paint Willow. Instead, she went to go get a chair, and they were going to break Willow's ankle until Rio and Sky Blue came out and saved Willow. Then Jamie Hayter came out and she saved Rio. Jamie Hayter with the hate breaker to Ruby Soho. And then since Rio is facing Jamie Hayter for the women's title, she signaled to Jamie that she wants that belt. And then after this was the main event, which was Daniel Garcia versus Adam Cole, baby. But I talked about that at the beginning, so I'm going to stop the review here. And overall, aside from Orange Cassidy versus the Butcher, I actually really enjoyed tonight's show. It was actually a really, really good show. So I am going to give this a 9 out of 10. A good show. And just to remind everybody, I will not be doing a review of SmackDown and Rampage, as I will be at SmackDown, the go-home show to WrestleMania. I will not be doing a review of Night 1, Night 2 of Mania, as I will be at both nights of WrestleMania. I will also not be doing a review of Raw after Mania, as I will be at the Raw after Mania. So with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I hope to see you guys live next week after Dynamite. Bye.